Yo, 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 yo. Come YAHsharal, yo. Big ups to Israel, the Hebrews, Come YAHsharal through the Spirit of the Most High. All praises to YAHAWAH God. You know, just out on this rather peaceful morning. Just get some reflection in, you know, spending a lot of time in the house and doing studies, and just, it can get a little wearisome, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I gotta get out, man. Just get out, breathe a little bit, and recollect and think about a lot of the goings on amongst our people, you know? So yeah, look at that. Nice field of green. Been inside studying breakdowns of this Enoch calendar. Going to put some of the studies that I've done on a couple videos. It's just a lot of material to cover, you know. So be on the lookout for that. Yah willing, you know. And all praises to Yahweh. Just don't ever forget that no matter what you're going through, give all praises to Yahweh, man. Give all praises to Yah, who put you here in the spirit as a spiritual being. Now, a lot of people talk about spirit and spiritual beings and, all these other things, but the fact remains that you are here. And since you are here, Yah is here, right? Now, I know that sounds abstract, or it can sound a bit metaphysical, or, something to that effect. But just have to be mindful, But the road is long and it's continuous, especially for people like us, because we change, We constantly change. And we evolve and we elevate, We constantly change. The things that are surrounding us affect the way we change. What we think about and how we feel affects the way we change. So I wanted to take this opportunity to take a couple steps back, and really, just take a couple steps back, Feel out some things. Listen to the grass, Listen to how your feet sounds walking through the grass. As we're always reminded of all these mechanical things. There's airplanes, cars, posts in the dirt talking about underground wires. We're always reminded over that. Dried up tracks, grasshoppers, Corona bottles. But it feels good, man. It's a beautiful day. It really does. Summertime is coming to a close and fall is coming to an opening down here. Right? So just be thankful, man. Be thankful that the Spirit of the Most High put you here. And put down them idols, man. Put down your idols. Anything that you can personify in an image and then act like that is Yahweh, who none of us can see, but we can experience. But let me take that back. I mean, you can see Yahweh. When Yahweh reveals himself to you, you see Yahweh, you know? But being that being that we change, we don't always stay in the presence of Yahweh. Moses didn't always stay in the presence of Yahweh, yet Yahweh was with him through his principalities and in his walk, you know? So I think about what it's going to be like when we're out of this captivity state. And it seems to be that it's just going to be YAHsharal who's in charge, you know? That we as YAHsharal are going to take over all the things that the heathens, all the things that the people who don't give praises to Yahweh have established to try to get you to veer away from your spirit, you know? Get you to veer away from the spirit. That's what it seems like to me. And I thank Yahweh for that kind of insight. All day. Every day, all day, man. So if you're the type that just hates it when people say praise Yahweh, or hates it when people just give praises, maybe you need to go back and read your Psalms, you know what I'm saying? And maybe you need to rethink what you think about walking in Yahweh is. Is walking in Yahweh always trying to give breakdowns and always trying to give out information? Nah, it's not. But those things are needed, right? Even back in the day, the priests needed to have a breakdown of the meaning of what they were doing. So therefore, the people who are more accustomed to being priests, need those breakdowns. And it's continuous. It doesn't stop, man. Just like people who aren't priests need breakdowns on how to do their way and how to praise Yahweh through what they do. It never stops, man. And that's the beautiful thing about YAHsharal, is that we represent word. So as I was saying, we know that we're all going to be doing different things because we're all just individuals. When I say individuals, I mean just different bodies. You don't have the same body as the next man. Not even children have the same bodies of their parents. There's always a difference, and some people use that, that 33rd and a half breakdown or whatnot. But you know what's being said. So we just got to be mindful in our walks, right? Yep. As YAHsharal said, the journey continues. It really does. We're gonna have to learn about the wilderness tabernacle. We're gonna have to learn about the temple tabernacle, right? The journey continues. And just think about how widespread everything is. You got that brother who is overseas, the brother Amariel, YAHshaWAH Amariel, right? As he calls himself, the noble. He's trying to do his thing, right? Talking about Yahweh Allah. He's trying to do his thing. He's not going to stop just because a lot of haters want him to stop, And who's to say that Yahweh didn't put a certain spirit on him to go ahead and do what he's doing, He hasn't stopped. But you got a lot of brothers over here that are in the so-called United States who are constantly putting out videos telling him that he should stop and that he should repent, he should do whatever. But the fact is that none of them are over there with him, That's why That's why we don't do enough checking of ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We don't check ourselves. We always want to end up checking other people, you know? And I think, and that's going to be the crazy thing, because I always say this, man, and this goes out to all YAHsharal, is that you're going to be surprised when we're in the wilderness and we're back as in the land again, the diversity of the people that's going to be there. You're going to be surprised, man, because you think in your mind that you think the same things that YAHWAH thinks, but you don't. You never will, because you never can. You know, if YAHWAH gave you one pure blast of thought, your physical would be obliterated. I want you to understand that. People don't understand that though, man. You got brothers like Lex Vortex talking about YAHWAH is pure light, when he doesn't even know what light is. If he knew what light is, he wouldn't even be fucking with Sa Netta. He wouldn't even be fucking with Sa Nigga, you know what I'm saying? Who throws up the Baphomet, throwing up the 3/6s all the time. And they don't have no sign of repentance either, man. They don't have no videos of repentance. All the videos, if they're apologizing, it's just for you all to see. It's just a show. And that's all it is, man. And I told that brother too. I was like, bro, you know you're wrong. You're going off, right? This is the video you first put on your channel is about sorcery. The very first video you put on your channel is about sorcery, right? And I don't agree with this whole good witch, bad witch. Brothers be talking about there's good witches, bad witches. Why gotta be witches anyway? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I can understand where, you know, you got people who deal with herbs and people who deal with, you know, dealing with vegetations and dealing with food in order to heal the body, right? But let's not go too far and say good witch, bad witch. You know, this ain't Wizard of Oz, you know what I'm saying? Right? And, you know, I could be wrong. Maybe, you know, people want to go around talking about, yeah, that's a good witch right there, bad witch. Nah, it's not that. It's just that they don't know what else to call the person other than a witch. Anyways, I'm going to get off that. I'm going to stay on this reflection. So yeah, earlier I was talking about the book of Enoch, or the Enoch calendar, I should say. So I'm going to put down a little bit of what I've been studying on it. It's not concrete. Like I said, I'm still studying on it. And obviously we're not following the Enoch calendar or the sun calendar, right? But there's glimpses of the sun calendar that you could see, especially if you study history or so-called history, then it can give you a better understanding of why you saw things such as the sundial. You know what I'm saying? Where we get the idea of these clocks, these watches with the dials on it, right? Big hand, little hand. The minute hand is a whole nother subject, but big hand, little hand. Reminds me of seeing people walking around with a set of watches on their arms. They have sundials, little sundials. But you know, all praises to YAHWAH, man, for giving us a peace of mind and peaceful minds. You know, do you really know what a peaceful mind is? You know, a still mind? Because a still mind reflects a still heart. Right? Just like a still mind reflects a still heart. Right? Them Egyptians know about that. Still in mind and still in heart. A still mind, right? Peace. A calm nature. You know, a really calm and peaceful nature is a threat to this place that's full of so much chaos? Anybody ever think about that? A real calm, real peaceful nature is a threat to this chaotic place? Maybe I haven't thought about that. But don't be deceived, man. You got brothers in the conscious community talking about peace, and they want peace amongst each other, but they still are worshiping that which goes against Yahweh. Or they're putting up things as their power references and not putting Yahweh as their power. Doesn't make any sense, man. Doesn't make one bit of sense. That's what these walks are for. These walks are for reflection and a little glimpse at the way our minds work all day. These little walks that I go on and I do, this just is a little glimpse to show you how my mind works all day, the things I think about, comparing and contrasting, weighing, putting things on a scale, weighing it out. How's this weigh up against nothing? Because you know Yahweh is nothing, right? Yahweh is nothing that you can understand totally. Absolutely nothing. Words that we can use to express that are the Most High, you know, the ineffable, the infallible, the omnipotent, the eternal, even the infinite in a way. But we know, all of you who really know what infinite means knows that it changes. Things that don't change really define who Yahweh is. Right? And a lot of us, that could be, because we know that nature of Yahweh, that sometimes hinders us as people who do change. You know? It goes back to a little simple breakdown of like ego and pride. You know, it's hard for brothers who are not in the mindset to accept change to really get into understanding when to change or how to change right. Because of Yahweh not changing, brothers find it offensive when other people try to change them. Because we have Yahweh's nature that way, right? Because Yahweh finds it offensive if you try to change his laws and his commands and his moral code, you know what I'm saying? Which is the highest moral code. You can't find a higher moral code than Yahweh's. And I dare you to show me where there's a higher moral code than Yahweh's. All the way down to what a priest should do in the temple tabernacle to serve Yahweh. That's a moral code, because you have to have a certain purity to even come close to serving Yahweh and taking people's offerings, right? You got to have a certain purity about yourself. Just saying, man. But there's a lot of declaration that doesn't even need to be said. A lot of brothers declare things, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you know. And Yah, what I would like to do more declaring is what is happening. Yah is doing this, Yah is doing that. And take myself out of the equation. That's my prayer, one of my prayers in this walk with YAHsharal, you know. Let it be a blessing. Take myself out of the equation, you know. But you have to realize that you don't speak for Yahweh like that, in that manner. Because there's going to be instances where you get called out. So if you think in your mind that when you get called out, that brothers are calling out Yahweh, you need to think again, man, because you are not Yahawah, right? That's one mistake a lot of brothers and sisters make out there, man. Yeah, and especially sisters too, because you think brothers can get a God complex. I think a lot of y'all forget how bad sisters can get a God complex. Just look at how they're raised up on a pedestal in this world, in this fallen world, you know, with all the makeup and trying to stay fly and trying to be attractive and trying to overdo it. I mean, you see the consequences of that. Now, I'm not saying don't be beautiful, but beauty, like the age-old saying, right? Beauty comes from within. Beauty comes from within, man. You know? Far be it for brothers and sisters to stay on the level of constantly bashing people for their physical appearance and for their physicalness. Yeah, you know, we shoot shots, you know. We shoot out hot shots, you know what I mean? But to constantly be on that level, that's something wrong with you, man. There's something wrong with your mind. Because you can't tell me that you haven't met a beautiful person that wasn't as physically attractive as another person. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that, man. And if you do, then you're a liar. You know? Because I've met beautiful women before who are ugly inside, man. Straight up ugly, and who are users and manipulators. So you can't tell me that all beautiful women, you know, are righteous. You know. Now, I'm not going to touch on all that other stuff. When I say other stuff, I mean that stuff that's outside of YAHsharal, you know what I mean? Like homosexuality and transgender and all that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can go somewhere with that. I'm just speaking strictly in the confines of those who are in their right minds, who give thanks and praises to Yahawah, you know what I'm saying? Bump all that shit. You can leave the confusion outside the gates. What up, what up, what up? What up, what up? Oh, look. Cool, y'all. I just passed by the fig tree. When the figs are feeling real ripe, feeling real nice right now. One more week, they're probably gonna be straight. I plucked off one. Tied. Anyhow, you know, people just staying busy. Here go a pear tree right here. Boy, pear trees last a long time too. Word. Oh yeah, it is Sunday, right? I was wondering why. I was like, damn, there's a lot of cars passing by. It's because there's a big ass church down here. Well, there's a lot of churches down here, but you got this one on this corner here, Arlington Baptist. You got a Vietnamese big mega church right down the way. But yeah, so I'm holding a fig in my hand. I just plucked it off the fig tree, and it's pretty soft. I'm gonna take it home and put it in a little what you call those sandwich bags, you know, so they can ripen some more. Oh, look, here goes another pear tree. I didn't even notice that, man. Dang, someone has jumped up there and got all the pears. Oh well. So yeah, man, this goes back to that lesson whenever we spoke about the tree, how in the land, how we used to grow our trees and fruit trees and have our crops, and that we'd have sections that were sectioned off for the passerby or the foreigner who was hungry, or the sojourner, I should say. You know, praise Yah, maybe even the foreigner, you know, but sectioned off for the sojourner so they could pluck We had land. There was a time when we had so much abundance that we had land that sojourners could walk by and just pluck off stuff if they were hungry. During a time of peace, you know. Ooh, it's busy today, no doubt. But yeah, that was a time that we used to live in. Yeah. So it's amazing how starting off on this walk this morning, it was real calm and serene. Then you get to a busy street that's high traffic and there's tons of cars. It's crazy, man. That's why this world is crazy. You know, and I know some people who listen to this, they're like, man, he's not even talking about nothing. But that's what this is. This is a morning walk. This is a reflection time. This is whenever you can get outside, you know, sweat a little bit, you know, get some of those impurities out, you know. I once knew someone who would be in the hottest sun and didn't sweat. Now ask yourself this: what relationship do you have to have with Yahawah to be in the most intense conditions where you know you would be sweating, but you don't sweat? Think about that. Just think about that, man. You know, in this Babylonia, Greco-Roman Egypt. You know, every time I think about Roman and Egypt and Greece and Babylon, all I can think about is fuckery. And all I can think about is a place in our hearts and our minds that I don't ever want to go back to again. That's all I can think about. When I think about that stuff, I'm like, man, that's nothing but fuckery. You get images of like Caligula, Alexander the Greek, you know, all the fucking pharaohs calling themselves gods. You get images of big statues of Colossus. You get images of pyramids, even though the Great Pyramid, we designed that. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother thing. Nevertheless, because I think brothers and sisters forget that the Hebrews, the so-called Hebrews or whatnot, we were in the land of Mitzrayim for a time. And when we were there, it bloomed and blossomed, right? Don't y'all ever forget that either, for all you naysayers out there. Now look at it. You can't find one motherfucking Egyptian, real Egyptian there no more, right? Real Mitzrayim, where you at? You got these brothers over here talking about they commissioned an Egyptian. Man, get out of here with that. Y'all ain't nothing but sodomites. Worshiping the Kundalini spinal cord. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing new, man. I know all about it. I'm from Dallas, man, where we got a lot of so-called black people into all that spiritism, you know what I'm saying? And it's been like that here for a while. You know what I'm talking about. Shoot, look at Erykah Badu, she's from here. Look at all that crazy shit she's into, you know? Instead of being a personification of Yahawah, talking about who we are, yo, she's into every kind of sex magic that you could think of. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe not every kind. I don't want to be that mean. But, you know, into some fuckery, no doubt. Yeah. Yeah, Erykah Badu is ill. Feel sorry for them them dudes, man, that she got convinced, all them baby daddies, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, we're a great family. Of course you are, right? Of course you're a great family, man. What else what are you gonna do? Just beef with all the baby dads? Come on, man. But in the back of your head, in the back of your mind, you know it's messed up, right? You be like, damn, man. After all the excitement has died down, like B.B. King said, right? The thrill is gone. Once the thrill is gone, then you realize that you got with some ill spiritual whore. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to say, yeah, what's up, dog? What's up, dog? But yeah, once you realize the thrill is gone, that's when you really realize just the whoredoms that you were involved with, you know. It's wise to not necessarily seek thrills and to seek that feeling of, that feeling of like gain, if you will. Sometimes it's wise to just be mindful during a state of want and need, you know what I mean? So you can really hone in on what your desires are pointing to, you know what I'm saying? Right? And you can chop them down if they're preventing you from being in communion with the spirit of Yahweh. Right? That's another thing that these morning walks are for, or just getting out and walking, communicating with our people. But I know it's been a long walk today, huh? I don't want to take up all y'all time, but thanks for listening. I mean that in all sincerity. You know what I'm saying? And keep striving, man. Keep learning those lessons. Keep finding what Yahweh wants you to express. What character of himself, you know? What culture of himself? What cultured response can you give? What update? What influence? What elevation can you give? You know what I mean? You know, if your skill is going in the scriptures, you know, verse and precept, shine on it, man. If your skill is expressing an overall theme, shine on it, man. If your skill is actually building things in this world that represent who Yahweh is in its magnificence, then do that, man. You know? And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, when I say people who build things in this world that show, you know, Yahweh's excellence, maybe you need to get out more, man. Maybe you need to visit other cultures, you know? Go to your local Latino hood, you know what I mean? Look at how they have lowriders built, man. Look at the things that they come up with, especially the ones who are not creating violence, you know? Especially the ones who are creating unity amongst their own. Just look at that, man. If they don't accept you walking through, then maybe you're not a peaceful person. You know what I mean? If you're truly a person of peace, then you should be able to walk through any hood, man. Especially if you're from the hood, man. If you're from the hood and you can't walk through other people's hoods, man, something's wrong, man. Now, of course, I'm not talking about whenever, you know, when brothers and sisters are doing other shit. Like some people take shit so too far, like if you ain't got the right colors on your garments and shit, you know what I mean? That's some bullshit. And that's Baal worship. And you motherfuckers need to die for that bullshit. Killing your own people over some garments and material, fuck that, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about like just traveling through. You know what I mean? Even in an essence or an essential way, right? Essential way, in an essential way. Brothers will let you pass, man. You know, when I was a young kid, I used to go through many projects, go into projects, man, with all sorts of different so-called ethnicities, filled with Latinos and blacks and Asians and Africans. You know what I'm saying? But it is true that the Asian, so-called, the modern Asian and the modern African, right? They'd like to keep to their own. But these Latinos and these so-called blacks, yeah, we get along, man. But like I said, it might be different from where a lot of y'all are from. Cause I'm from Texas, man. Where the Latinos and blacks, they really don't have beef like that, man. Not really. You know? Or so-called blacks, I should say. But yeah. Anyhow, man, peace and blessings. Y'all enjoy y'all day. All praises to YAHAWAH.